Okay, let's talk about a document that for a lot of people is probably just gathering dust on a shelf. But what if I told you it's actually the single most important, most powerful document your agency has? Yeah, today we are diving deep into your policies and procedures manual.
And let's be real for a second. When you think about your agency's manual, was creating it a strategic, empowering task, or did it feel like a massive chore you just had to get done to check a box? Come on, you can admit it. For most of us, it feels like a hurdle to get over, not a foundation to build on.
But this is where we have to totally flip the script. This quote right here says it all. Your policies are not paperwork, they are legal protection. Think about that. This document isn't just a regulatory headache. It's literally a fortress for your agency. It is your first and best line of defense when something inevitably goes wrong.
And it's not just for when things go sideways. Picture this. An inspector walks through your door. What's one of the very first things they're going to ask for? You guessed it, this manual. Before they meet your staff, before they look at your client records, they read your rule book. Your manual is their first impression of your entire operation. It's a test, and it tells them immediately just how professional and on the ball you really are.
So, to really grasp how important this is, we need to think about it differently. Let's just stop calling it a manual. From now on, I want you to think of it as your agency's operational constitution. Seriously, that little shift in language, it changes everything.
So what on earth does that actually mean? Well, think about a nation's constitution. It's the supreme law of the land, right? It's the fundamental rule book. And that is exactly what this document should be for your agency. It's the core text that spells out precisely how you operate safely, legally, and effectively. It's the backbone for every single decision your team makes every single day.
Okay, so if this is your constitution, what are the essential articles that have to be in it? Let's break down the absolute must-have building blocks for a manual that actually protects you.
Now, this list might look a little, standard, a little dry. But look at each item through that lens of protection. Things like client rights and emergency procedures. That's all about keeping people safe. Hiring requirements and caregiver training. That's your commitment to quality. Documentation and incident reporting. That's about accountability. Every single one of these is a critical gear in the machine that keeps your agency running smoothly and safely.
All right, you really need to lean in for this next part. This is absolutely crucial. This is where so many well-meaning agencies make a huge, catastrophic mistake. I call it the mismatch trap, and it's one of the top reasons agencies fail their inspections.
Oh, it is so tempting, isn't it? You go online, you find a template, you do a quick find and replace with your agency's name, and boom, you call it a day. It feels so efficient. It feels like you check that box. But I'm telling you, taking that shortcut is one of the riskiest things you can possibly do. And here's why. The real danger isn't the template itself. It's the massive disconnect it creates. If your constitution says you do one thing, but in the real world your staff is doing something entirely different, you don't have a policy, you have a giant liability. An inspector will sniff this out in about 5 minutes. They'll walk up to one of your caregivers and ask, "So, tell me the procedure for reporting an incident." If their answer doesn't match word for word what's on page 47 of your manual, you've got a very serious problem.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to a pretty simple and kind of brutal equation. A mismatch between your written policy and your daily practice equals a failed inspection. It's an automatic red flag. It tells that inspector that your beautiful binder-bound manual is just for show, and that is a game you do not want to play.
So let's pull all of this together. When you do it right, when you build a true operational constitution that reflects what you really do, it becomes so much more than just paperwork. It becomes your legal shield. It's the proactive tool that proves your commitment to quality and safety, to inspectors, to your clients, and just as importantly, to your own team.
And that leaves us with one last, really important question you need to ask yourself. Go on, take a hard look at that document, whether it's on your shelf or on your hard drive. Is it a living, breathing constitution that actually guides how you operate and truly protects you? Or is it just a generic, mismatched document that's sitting there, waiting to become a major liability? The future of your agency could very well depend on the answer.